he was born 100 years ago. I want to think some more.
Does anyone
We
have
could
one
think
that they
some
can
more.
think of? Something that you have in your house now that you want to know if he had a long time ago?
I'll give another example.
I have a
You're
question.
too old for this.
Unless
Unless you're a big
She's only 4.
So let me give you another. Let me give you another example. When your clothes gets dirty, what does your mother or father do to clean the clothes?
Wash it.
Washing machines. Very good. Washing machines. So you put the clothes into the washing machine, and maybe you helped your mother or father do that. And the washing machine, just let me finish.
But not always it goes off, because sometimes it's like stained.
Sometimes you have stains, that's exactly right. So you have to pre-treat. It's called pre-treating. try to get rid of stains.
The master of laundry over here.
What I wanted to indicate is that there is a washing machine that does the wash, cleans the clothes. When I was born, 100 years ago, there were no washing machines.
No washing machine.
No washing machines. So how did my mother, for example, how did she get the clothes clean? So I'm going to tell you. She had a board. She had a board, put it into the kitchen sink. The board, the top of the board was very. What did she say?
She was like,
Oh, yeah,
rinsing it,
exactly,
right?
The top of the board was very rough, very rough. And what my mother would do, she would wet the clothes and then would push back and forth along the top of the board. And that's how they clean the clothes. So, but the clothes were wet. When you take the clothes out of the washer today, the washing machine, it's wet. How do you dry the clothes? And it dries very good in a dryer.
And I have both machines. I have one to wash them and one to dry them.
No, exactly.
I have one for food and I have one for clothing.
Oh, you have one for food.
I have one
Dad, that's the question. Did you have a refrigerator?
No, I'm gonna get to that.
Wait.
That's the next thing. So, what did my mother do after she washed the clothes? They were wet. They had to be dry.
Can anyone guess what she did with the clothes after? Has anyone ever seen this? Yeah, Dylan.
There were no dryers.
What do
We
you-
used to hang a rope in the kitchen, and in some cases, there was a rope outside of the
talk.
Wait a minute.
Wait, I'll get to you in a moment, okay? Let me finish this. So, my mother would take the clothes which is wet, and she would hang it over the rope, and that's how it dried. So it was very different then than it is now.
Theo.
Today, it's so much easier to do things like that. So somebody said something about a refrigerator. Good idea. You all know what a refrigerator is?
Yes.
You know that the refrigerator also typically has a freezer. Either on top of the refrigerator, below the refrigerator. 100 years ago, there was no refrigerator.
Whoa.
And there was no freezer. So, let's talk about today. Let's talk about today with refrigerators and freezers. If your mother or father goes shopping, they come home with milk, they come home with cheese and yogurt and things like that. They put it into the refrigerator. Why? Because they want it to stay fresh and not go bad. How about the freezer? The freezer is very, very cold. If they bought ice cream, for example, they put it into the freezer so that it'll stay until they're ready to use it. So, we didn't have a freezer, we didn't have a refrigerator 100 years ago. So what did people do? Well, they had what was called an ice box. It looked like a refrigerator, but it didn't keep anything cold. only way we were able to keep things cold is we bought from somebody who would bring it to the house a big block of ice, like this. And what did we do? What did he do? He put it into the ice box, and that kept things cold.
Oh, wow.
But of course, what happens with ice, it eventually begins to melt.
Yeah.
And so what do you do when it
And
starts?
ice is mostly made of water because when
Mostly.
it melts, it turns
That's right. It's made of, they freeze water, that's correct. Well, they didn't freeze it. They used to go out to the country somewhere where there were lakes and the weather was very, very cold, so that the water in the lake froze, became ice, and then they come along and they would chop out these big, this.
Does anyone here go to the New Rochelle Kids Library by the high school? That used to be where the people lived who made the ice in the pond.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So Dad, I had a question. Was your mother able?
Wait.
Okay.
Is there any question about the ice box?